Hey everyone, okay, great question that I got. It was actually from one of my guys in my online program asking about carb cycling. So I'm going to do a quick video to expand on that. For anyone following me a while, you know my book is coming out, hopefully October. I haven't got the release date or anything yet, but my first published book is coming out later this year, and the recommendation in the nutrition section that I've gone with is carb cycling. So basically, my favorite method, there's loads of methods that I love. I think the low carb, keto diet, paleo, all of these ones all have merits and they're all great diets if they work for you and depending on each person. But my personal favourite's always been carb cycling, so it's the one I've included in the book. So I'm going to give it a little bit of an expansion now, just because my client Owen over in my online program was asking me about it, so I'm going to expand on it now even more. Carb cycling basically means where you have a different intake of carbs on different days. The main benefit for this being that your metabolism doesn't stall by going too low on carbs. So what happens with people is when they go low carb and they cut all of their carbs out, you get what's called a metabolic stagnation. It's where your metabolism just stalls and stops responding. So that's why if you go low carb and then the first 7-10 days you get really lean and drop a lot of body fat and drop a lot of water, and then you just stay there and can't seem to get any lower, your body's has hit its metabolic stagnation point. It's where it's like just it's not doing anything. It's not getting any worse, but it's not getting any better. But you're still going low carb, so you're kind of suffering a small bit. Carb cycling reverts this back so that you can go low carb for a few days and then you respike your metabolism with a surge of carbohydrate, and it resets the metabolism and you can start it all back again. It's kind of like if you think of your metabolism like a fire. What kind of happens with low carbs is the fire starts to burn less brightly, and then when you have a refeed of carbohydrates, which is normally 4 or 5 times your low day, it goes whoosh, the flames on the fire go back up again, and you can redo that long term. You know, it's something that I do nearly unconsciously now, where I carb cycle, apart from when I've got like games and stuff coming up now that I'm back in sports. But even now I still carb cycle. This lean body GA program that I'm launching at the end of the week is based on a carb cycling principle of having higher carbs around training the GA days and game days, and then lower on the other days, so that you can actually get really lean and build muscle or drop body fat and not lose performance by having your high carb days. That's why I've included it in the book, because the training program that comes in the book, the book is split into a whole section on giving you all the knowledge and stuff like that I've learned over the last 15 years, you know, since I started doing fitness, and everything that I've learned. And then a training program, my favorite one, which is normally like a push-pull legs, which is my all-time favorite split, and then carb cycling nutrition, which is my all-time favorite nutrition. Again, that being said, I love other ones and I incorporate other ones depending on the person, but my personal favorites have always been push-pull legs for training and carb cycling for nutrition. But again, I play within these parameters and I tend to find favorite ideas as I move along and get new information on things. So I say this now, I'll do another video in 6 months and be like, well, this is fucking amazing, this is what I prefer. Just a big fucking walking contradiction. When I find something that I feel changes my perception on something, I would be the first to admit, oh, this is better, you know. So, but right now, I'm loving carb cycling and I think it's amazing. So, what I would do is, and I did this in a video in the group, in my online program where I do the groups, the best recommendation I can give for carb cycling is to have a high, a medium and a low day, and then you rotate them depending on how hard your training sessions are. So the general recommendation is low day between 50 and 100 grams, moderate day between 100 and 200 grams, and then high day between 200 and 300 grams of carbs. And then you switch those in. So things on like leg day, you have like your highest carb days. Back day, you have your high carb days. Metcons, you have your high carb days. Rest days, you have your low days. You know, because you obviously don't need those carbohydrates as much, depending on the program you're following. It's funny because in the online program I actually don't have the carb cycle in there because there's so much tension training and fiber tearing. There's no such thing as a rest day in that 6-week program I have. It's kind of your rest days are recovery days because of the fibers you're tearing and the systems that are in the program. But if you're following just a generic program that you found online or from somebody that just gave you a training program, this is going to work amazing for you because it's not within the context. It's just a general rule for people. I'm saying that carb cycling works. So what I would do is have your lowest days on rest days, your moderate days on like your easier body parts, your shoulders, your arms, your light cardio days, and then your high carbs on your hardest training sessions. And I would split it up that way. Again, as I said, context is absolutely key. This is why it's very hard to even do nutrition without training, because all training programs should be based around the nutrition, and all nutrition should be based around training. For example, if somebody's doing a higher volumes training, I'm designing the plan, they're going to have a completely different outlay of their timing of carbs and what sources they use, because it's got to feed into the training program. So I'm using this as a general recommendation, assuming you're training well, assuming you've tried maybe some of my vlog workouts that are on my YouTube, or scroll down to the Facebook and you'll see them. Assuming you're doing that kind of training, carb cycling will work great for you. Again, context is key. So I'm not saying this is the fucking best thing, this is what you need to do, and everything else is shit, because there's other things that work really, really well. Just this is one of the ones that I particularly like, but again, it's all within context. As I said, my online group aren't even doing carb cycling because of the training program they're following. So even though I love the whole system, I don't have them doing this program because it's not what benefits this program. So context is key. As I said before in a GA vlog about linking up your goals, your nutritional plan and your training program should be intersynced, one and the same, because they should be supporting one another, they should be benefiting one another, and they should be working together in synergy. So I hope this video helps. Please like and share the page, and I'll be replying for the next 24 hours.